Ja, hallo, Michael Adams für Stock-Telegraph und Sie sehen, ich komme gerade aus dem Keller, quasi aus dem Büro, bin dabei, Videos zu schneiden. Ich habe gestern am Montag ein Video-Interview machen können, nochmal mit International Lithium. Die haben wir ja schon seit einiger Zeit, oder ich habe die seit einiger Zeit auf der Watchliste für Stock-Telegraph und ja, da war es in der letzten Zeit so ein bisschen still. Man hat zwar jetzt das Bohrprogramm aufgenommen auf den kanadischen Projekten, aber ja, Aktienkurs bröckelte so ein bisschen ab, hat jetzt so eine neue Basis um die 20 Cent hoffentlich gefunden und ja, auf jeden Fall habe ich da gestern, also am Montag, wenn Sie das Video sehen, vorgestern, ja, weil ich das Video wahrscheinlich am Mittwoch erst veröffentlichen werde, habe ich ein Video-Interview gemacht mit dem Kirill Klip, der ist President, und mit dem Gary Schellenberg, der ist CEO. Und wir sprechen da insbesondere über ja, die letzten Entwicklungen, über die Planungen und insbesondere halt auch über Ganfeng Lithium oder Lithium. Das ist ja der große Partner von International Lithium. Und da gibt uns der Kirill Klip doch die ein oder andere Info, warum dieser Partner wirklich extrem wichtig ist. Ja, dabei wünsche ich Ihnen viel Spaß. Yeah, hi, Kirill. Hi, Gary. Thanks for taking the time to again talk to me. It's my pleasure. And you know, I'm covering the company for quite some time, and the share price had a huge run at the beginning. Now it's kind of settling down on they're forming a new base. But you know, just as an introduction for the guys or for my subscribers that are not fully up to speed on International Lithium, Gary, can you give us like the big picture in a 30-second pitch?
Sure, not a problem. Thanks very much, Michael. International Lithium is a pure lithium developer and exploration company. We've been involved in this sector for well over 8 years, and we're one of the first junior companies to actually enter into the sector. We have major projects, developing projects in Argentina, Ireland, and Canada. And we have a strategic partner which has enabled us to actually develop two of our projects, and that's Ganfeng Lithium, one of the largest lithium producer products in the world. So that's really encapsulates what the company is. We've spent 8 years developing a technical team, which I think is second to none out there, and I think it goes to our success that we've been able to stay in in this sector for over the last 8 years and being very successful at it.
Right, and that's, as you know, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I kind of cherry-picked ILC, because you're not like the new kid on the block, right? So you're around for a couple of years already. And yeah, so there was a news release a couple of days ago that you moved your drill rigs into the onto the Canadian projects together with your partner there. Could you just give us an update? What's going on there on the ground? What kind of results do you expect? And what's the timeline until you're able to release the results?
Yeah, thanks, Marley. Yeah, we've been actively exploring our Mavis Lake and Raleigh Lake projects in Ontario with our partner Pioneer Resources out of Australia. They're funding this program. We've spent the early part of the fall here developing and fine-tuning our drill targets. The last time we drilled the Mavis Lake project, we had some phenomenal results. 28 meters of well over 2% lithium oxide, which again, for pegmatite and hard rock, that's very, very good results. What's key on the Mavis Lake and Raleigh Lake is that they're very logistically viable. They're all close to infrastructure, unlike a lot of the other pegmatite sources throughout the world where they're in very, very remote regions. We're very fortunate, again, being first in the sector, to be able to acquire some of these very well located pegmatite projects, and again, these are both the Raleigh and Mavis are very high grade. We're starting off on the Mavis Lake project. The drills should be turning here ideally later on this week, and we're testing a number of these pegmatite bodies. The last drilling that we did was in around what we call the Mavis Fair Service area, and now we've been able to identify another prime target area some distance away, and it's called Pegmatite 18, and we're very excited about that and its potential. So again, Mavis Lake has not just one pegmatite; it's got like 19 of them, and of which it's going to take some time. But we're very hopeful that we'll be able to be successful in this drill campaign to a point where we can actually start putting a resource together.
Okay, great. And so is there any other companies or any other projects in this Canadian belt that you're looking for, like getting some new projects?
Yeah, we've always been looking at, we have a third project called Forgan Lake, which we have ourselves, and that is about 250 kilometers away. Again, it's key. We're trying to develop a pool of targets and or resource, a lithium resource, within about a 350 kilometer radius, which, and ideally what'll happen, and our dream is to essentially take 3, 4, or 5 of these lithium mines and have it essentially send their spodumene concentrate to a central processing plant, which we hope to be a part of organizing and putting together here in the near future.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so based on our last video interviews, I got a couple of questions from some of my viewers and subscribers, and they are interested why you as ILC, and we are strictly talking Canada right now, why you're concentrating on Canada instead of going to Nevada like a lot of the other companies. Yeah, so you don't have any foothold in Nevada, so it seems to me kind of being a strategic decision not to be there.
Yeah. Well, actually, Michael, we were at one point when we started off in Nevada. That was 8 years ago. We realized fairly quickly back then is that Nevada wasn't, again, it's searching for a brine source, and of course in Canada we're searching for a pegmatite hard rock source. But we found out very quickly in Nevada is that it'll be a very difficult exploration procedure. We identified that not all the basins were closed, which is a geological criteria to find a successful brine, and also is that there's a widespread shortage of water, and because these aquifers, there's only so much water there, is that with so many people exploring in that area, there's one successful producer in Nevada, and within that aquifer, we don't believe that multiple mines are possible within that particular area. So we thought our odds were better focusing in on hard rock in Canada and our brines in Argentina, where it's not that we're looking for lithium, we know we have lithium. And I think that's the key, is that in Nevada they're still exploring, looking for it. What differentiates us from them is that we actually have lithium, and we have a lot of lithium. We just don't know how much, but we have lithium, and the fact that we found it, we can now put our efforts into defining it and concentrating on putting it into production. Okay, and maybe I have a couple of thoughts, and I think that all of these guys are popping up all the other companies are popping up in Nevada because Tesla is building their gigafactory in Nevada. But as far as I understand, and you guys are the experts, but Tesla announced that they are going to buy the batteries for the Model 3, which is kind of the mass model of Tesla. They're going to work together with Panasonic for the supply of the batteries. And Panasonic doesn't have a factory in Nevada, or I don't know, but how does this come together? Because actually Tesla does not need the lithium, right? No, Panasonic does,
Need it for the batteries, so whoever is going to build the batteries needs the lithium. Do you have, how is ILC fitting in this?
Well, with the Tesla Gigafactory, it is a great promotional aspect here for a lot of people to explore in Nevada, because they can use that synergy, the relevance of, well, hey, listen, Tesla's here in Nevada, they're going to be producing cars here. We're going to be the supplier of lithium, and I think you're very correct, Michael, is that Panasonic is one that needs the lithium. They're going to get it from whoever and wherever, and ideally, like our partner Ganfeng, for example, as Kirill will elaborate on, is one of the major suppliers of lithium hydroxide to Panasonic to build batteries. So it is interesting. I think it's a great, for lack of a better word, promotional tool, having Tesla in Nevada and exploring for lithium in Nevada. But realistically, I think there's better places in the world, to explore and and I mean, with increased success ratios, I think Nevada is a long shot in my mind. So that's why we're in Canada.
Yeah, and actually that's I guess my job, is I'm trying to separate for my viewers, like the wannabes, the promotional companies, as you said, from the real deals. That's I guess my job, and this is why I'm happy to have you guys as the experts on lithium, here joining me and answering my questions. Okay, so let me see if there was another question from some of my viewers. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I think we covered that. The water rights, you already said a couple of words about the water rights in Clayton Valley. Okay, but you also said you have 2 other projects in Ireland and Argentina. And what's new at these 2 projects?
Well, we're active on both projects. Of course, we're midway through a $12 million program in Argentina. We have our goal and our mandate from our partner Ganfeng is to put this project in production by late 2019, early 2020. We have drills have been turning on the property for several months now. We are working towards our resource estimation should be out shortly. We are working on our process engineering, which various stages are complete, and we're in the process of building our test ponds, for a 1-year testing of our process that we've developed for extracting lithium. Lithium is a funny thing, especially in brines. It's not as a matter of what the grade is, but how easy it can be extracted. And so we're very pleased from our initial process engineering that's been done, is that lithium, extracting the lithium from our brines has been, we've been fairly successful in doing it on a bench tests. And now we're going to be proving that in the field with our test ponds. So that's quite exciting. That'll be ongoing information and, work probably over the next, we hope to be finished this phase and into our permitting phase by next Christmas. So again, lots of information, lots of work happening on our Mariana project in Argentina. Ireland as well as we've been consistently moving that project forward. We have a number of high priority targets. There's we know of at least 9 known pegmatites areas, prioritized areas that are high priority. We have 21 other target areas in addition. And we're slowly going through and systematically drilling and testing those. Our next target will be the Molisha. Molisha is an area that we're quite excited about. We've had known pegmatites and very high grade pegmatites over 500 meters in length, and we anticipate to expand that zone early this winter. We're currently trying to define additional targets in that area by doing some additional exploration work here prior to Christmas. So quite exciting. We had drilled our Clare House just about 2 months ago now, and at a Clare House we've expanded that pegmatite field as well. So we're on track on developing our assets there, again in conjunction with Ganfeng, and so we're very excited about that. And I think within the next 3 to 4 years, we'll be able to be in a production decision mode.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and as you mentioned a couple of times, one of your biggest your biggest partner is Ganfeng, and to be honest, before I was in contact with you guys, I never heard about Ganfeng, right? And I guess that a lot of people are in the same situation, even if Ganfeng is one of the bigger companies. But Kirill, you're maybe can you give us some more details about who is Ganfeng?
Yes, Michael, thank you very much. Everything what Gary told you before, starting with our very strong and very deep technical team and the quality of our assets, was crystallized in the decision of Ganfeng to make a major deal with us. And now Ganfeng has grown to 4.5 billion market cap company. They are based in China. And this year, together with another Chinese company called Tianqi, they broke down the old lithium big three, which used to be Albemarle, SQM, and FMC. And now we have Albemarle, which is #1 in the world. SQM is holding to the 2nd place. But Ganfeng and Tianqi together already pushed down FMC to the 5th place. and they're chasing each other now around 4th and 5th place. And you know, Gary was talking a lot with you about our technical team, how we were so early in the game. Actually, we are already making this business for the last 7 years, and this year we are celebrating our 5th anniversary with Ganfeng of our IPO. And I think that this ability to attract such a quality player, one of the major lithium material making companies in the world, it's say a lot about the quality of our team and the quality of our assets.
Okay, and can you go into a little bit more detail, because I know that Ganfeng is also a shareholder or state shareholder in ILC. Yeah, about why is it really so important to have ILC on board with you guys?
Yeah, it's a great question, Michael. Yeah, yes, Ganfeng now holding 15% in ILC, and it took us with Gary and all our team 2 years of due diligence, which they were performing on our number of our projects, and in the end they have chosen 2 best ones. Gary provided you already with information on Mariana Lithium, which we are moving now into pilot stage, and on our very, very impressive developments in Ireland as well. What is very important here, I would like to stress is one more time, because a lot of people, even in mining, losing this very important point Gary brought to your attention before. Capital is extremely important in junior mining, particularly now at this stage of commodity cycle. But what is even more important for us is to understand that lithium mining, actually, it's a chemical process. What is very important to have the right technology, and in our case, we have an end user who will provide us with the right technology to produce the raw materials right to the proper specification for them to use in already existing factories. And talking about the capital, it's very important as well. This year we have budgeted 17 million Canadian dollars all across our projects on 3 continents.
Okay, no, that's really impressive. And you just said that Ganfeng moved up the ladder, right? So why are they growing so fast compared to some of the other players?
Yes, another very interesting question. Ganfeng has enormous growth over these years. I can throw you some numbers. They started with 3 million in sales in 2000, and they grown up to $180 million in sales last year. And like I mentioned before, now they are one of the top 5 new lithium producers. I think that, in my personal opinion, electric cars now are at the tipping point, and now we have just news that in Q3, Tesla has outsold all major luxury brands of cars, not electric ones, but all cars in United States. Tesla now is selling almost as double as many cars as Mercedes Class S in United States, and more than double of BMW 7. So I bet that a lot of automakers are literally afraid of Tesla Model 3 coming to the market in a short 2 years' time, when it will be $35,000 car with a better performance than BMW 3, the close proximity of compatible internal combustion engine car. But it will be finally with over 200 miles range. And a lot of people in our market believe that this ability to produce electric car, which will be cheaper than $40,000, which will be with ability to drive for more than 200 miles, it's crucial for this market, and we are literally going mainstream. But if you ask me again, okay, we're talking a lot about Tesla, and like Gary mentioned before, Tesla made a great job promoting the idea of electric cars, that actually electric cars, not a vacuum cleaners on wheels anymore, they're with a much better performance. But if you ask us, because we're working so close with our strategic partner, Ganfeng, the real center of lithium universe now actually is in China already. They started so many years ago with very careful state-level planning. And now we have, if you could believe it, 25 companies in China who are producing 51 models of electric cars. For example, BYD, company name is Build Your Dreams, if you can believe it. And Warren Buffett bought a stake as early as 2008. He held a 10% stake in this company. And this year, I can tell you, very closely watching our partners, Ganfeng in China, because they supply not only Panasonic, like Gary mentioned before, but also BYD to build their batteries with lithium. BYD this year is on track to produce 100,000 electric cars. To give you some perspective, GM, it took them 7 years from 2009 to sell 100,000 GM Volts, and BYD will make it within just this 1 year. Why this year is so crucial, and why I think finally all this market for electric cars coming together, and we will see the mass market which will demand 3 times more lithium by 2025, according to Goldman Sachs estimations. Because this year, for example, Tesla is trying very hard to sell 80,000–90,000 electric cars. BYD will sell 100,000. But in the whole world, we can see 1 million electric cars sold just in 1 year. And we definitely will get to 2 million electric cars on our roads. And before, during all our history of the world, we sold just maybe 1.3 million electric cars. And another thing, Michael, I should ask you, what is happening really now in Germany? Because today with Gary, we discussed another blockbuster news for us.
Yeah, so actually that would be my question to you, right? I'm only monitoring it from, let's say, a 10,000 feet level, but 30,000 feet level. But yeah, well, I'm a little bit worried about the German luxury automobile makers like BMW, Merck, Audi, yeah, Porsche, maybe even Volkswagen. Yeah. So what's the reaction of those guys? And then how do you see the situation in Europe, but particularly in Germany?
You know, it's, again, very interesting. Just this morning, this Gary, we discussed this new blockbuster news coming from Germany, that Daimler announcing that they will make a major hub for production of lithium batteries. And as you know, there are still a lot of controversial news, but now we know for sure that your parliament, Bundesrat, has decided to ban all fuel-powered cars by 2030. People are still speculating whether it will be binding or non-binding. But for me, it's very important that after Dieselgate, after all that scandal with emissions with Volkswagen, finally, like you said, great German engineers, great German automakers start to think another 5 years ahead. What will we do if people literally will stop buying these diesel cars? And I can tell you, I already can see it's happening in UK. All my friends stop buying it. Why? Because even if you don't care, let's say if you are not aware, if you buy it today, to whom you gonna sell it in 2 or 5 years' time? So basically, resale market for diesel cars in Europe is shutting down. And now we have news after news. Now Daimler announced, as you know, in Paris that they are creating a new special electric car brand called EQ, and they will make as many as 10 electric cars by 2025. Volkswagen is trying to redeem itself. They announced a beautiful concept car called Volkswagen ID, trying to reposition themselves as a new and green technology. They're talking about 20 electric cars by 2025. BMW is coming out with full electric i5 and full electric Mini. So for me, we're really at the tipping point. And the United States and hopefully, Gary, Canada, like we discussed, that's why it's so important that we're building our Canada base for lithium, secure supply of lithium, right on the Great Lakes. Maybe later Gary can address it again, where we like literally on a doorstep of a heartland for North American auto manufacturing, because as we discussed before, GM Bolt finally is coming into production literally this month. And it will be first American produced car before Tesla Model 3 with over 200 miles range, priced below $40,000. And here, talking about Germany, it will be translated in Opel Ampera E, basically the same car but produced here in Europe. This very respectable 500 kilometers range, which I believe will allow a lot of people literally switch to this new technology. Another notable name will be Renault with 400,000 kilometers. And just give you the idea how important these technological improvements in range. Once BMW i3, let's be honest, I love BMW, but I will question the design of the car, sorry for this. But once they improve the battery, they start selling them by thousands, and in September we saw first record over 7,000 electric BMW i3 was sold. And of course, next topic, but maybe for another conversation, will be energy storage, which actually could become even a larger consumer of lithium batteries, Michael.
Okay, yeah, energy storage would be on my agenda, but I agree. Yeah, we should probably talk about that because it's a kind of linked but separate topic, right? So,
yeah.
We just okay. It was just a note here on my screen. Sorry for that. Okay, so then back to Ganfeng and ILC, right? So how is this all coming together for you guys?
So I think what is very important to reiterate, and then I will definitely would ask Gary to follow up with his view, how we are moving very rapidly with our development. And what is another thing, what is very important, what is differentiating us from a lot of other juniors? We have a very strong partner, Ganfeng Lithium. And like Gary said, we are not just looking for lithium all over the globe or even in Nevada or even under the floor of Gigafactory. We know where lithium already is. We already found it. We are in the next very crucial stage with our very strong partner with millions of dollars invested literally now as we speak into the ground. We are developing these resources already. And like I mentioned before, for me personally, as an investor in this business, everything finally coming together. Finally, we will have a real electric cars which you can drive more than 200 miles, and which you can buy below $40,000. Basically, they start to be comparable to normal cars, and a lot of very big investment banks like UBS now starting to give us the guidance, and they believe that by 2022, electric cars will become even cheaper to buy than so-called normal ones with diesel and petrol powered. And then my question will be to everybody, who on earth will continue to buy this old technology when you can buy a new one at the same price, which you can drive at 10% comparable to powering it by diesel or petrol, for example, in Germany, and performance, particular acceleration, will be way better than normal electric cars. But this is the general picture why electric cars are coming now into the face of mainstream, why they will be powered by lithium for another 25, 50 years, in my personal opinion. But maybe Gary will give us a couple of another brushes on the picture of our development, why we are so much ahead of a lot of other people who are just moving to this business, because we are already moving into the crucial stages of development of our resources, or even very, if I may call it, like pre-production stage of pilot planning in Argentina, please.
Yeah, thanks, Kirill. Yeah, we're rapidly advancing two of our projects, as we mentioned earlier with Ganfeng. The key for them, they are our driving force. They have production ideas. They set production targets for us. They would like to be, like I mentioned, in production in Mariana by 2019. I think Ireland would be, again, within a 4 to 7 year time frame as well. Ganfeng really, their main goal is to be vertically integrated. For them to continue to grow and actually have a commanding presence within their sector, they need to be vertically integrated. They're looking to us as explorers and developers of lithium to help them and be successful in that. So I think, as Kirill mentioned, we have been leading the way. We've been in this sector, in international lithium for 7, but prior to that, we spent a year, doing the research and sourcing projects in our parent company, TNR Gold. So it allows us the first mover status and to be able to put together a good package of projects. And we've had 8 years of developing these along, and fortunately for us, we've done them slowly. We haven't rushed in prior to this. A lot of our predecessors have rushed to production and had problems, and to this day, the producers in Argentina are still struggling along to get their product. FMC, for example, spent almost 6 or 7 years to work the bugs out of their refinement projects. Or Cobre also having some startup issues, with their product. And so this is something that that we are fortunate. We can learn from their mistakes, but also what makes us very, very fortunate, we could probably have a world leader in lithium extraction as a partner. So we don't have to develop that technology. That technology and expertise already exists with our partner. So I think that really, takes puts ILC ahead of the pack in my opinion, because we don't have to actually reinvent the wheel. And like any other business, a lot of the extraction technology is very proprietary, and so nobody wants to say how they're doing it. There's lots of different processes out there. So having a partner that has been successful at extracting lithium from brines and lithium products from spodumene, it really is really a significant advantage that I can't stress enough for ILC.
Okay. No, Gary, I think that was a very, very good summary. And I really feel that I'm investing in the right place with you guys. For everyone who is not familiar or wants to dig into more details, the company has a very, very good website and also a social media presence, which I will link somewhere in this video. I will also link the 2 last video interviews which we did. You can find the direct link somewhere around this video in the description text. And maybe my 2 cents, my final 2 cents is I'm a strong believer that the switch towards electric vehicles will be way faster than anyone assumes right now. Especially the politicians. It will be the public pressure. As you said. Nobody wants to buy diesels any longer. Nobody wants to buy other cars. And if not only Tesla. But if all these automobile makers. Can have a switch to electric, and I'm not a big fan of the hybrid stuff. I would go strictly to the electronic vehicles. Right. If they can have them at a fair price with good mileage and a nice design, then I think that's the way of the future. And so that's it. I hope to catch up with you guys, maybe over the next couple of months, whenever there's something coming out of the company or something. As you guys are my lithium experts, when something comes up in the lithium space, I would just call you. So again, thank you very much for taking your time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you very much, Michael. Bye-bye.